Minecraft has a lot of bridging methods ranging from speed bridging to speed tellies and so much more. And in all of these bridging methods are some good ones, some bad ones, and some in between. In today's video, I'd like to talk about some bridging methods that I personally don't think are very good, and I'm going to be going into detail about flaws with a lot of popular bridging methods that you might know. If you guys do end up enjoying today's video, please do consider subscribing. It really does help out so much, and we're getting really close to 8,000, which is just absolutely insane. And with that being said, let's get into it. Now I want to start off with a very controversial bridging method in the community, and this is the fruitberries bridge. The fruitberries bridge is flawed in many ways, and honestly it really isn't that bad overall, but in today's video I'm really going to be nitpicking a lot of different methods to show you why they aren't as good as you think they are. For the fruitberries bridge specifically, a lot of players need a setup to bridge, which takes a couple seconds out of your game to line it up, get it all ready to go before you even start bridging to the other island. With this being said, there are a lot of good players who don't need the setup at all, and even if you don't set up this bridging method, it is still going to be slower than a speed bridge. Some newer players might have a slower speed bridge than the fruitberries bridge itself, but with a little bit of practice it is quite easy to get the speed bridge to be faster than the fruitberries bridge. Another issue I have with the fruitberries bridge itself is that you don't shift at all, which of course is very common for faster bridging methods, but because this bridging method is slower than a lot of other alternatives such as speed bridging where you do shift, it makes it a lot more risky to pull off in games as you have a higher chance of falling into the void than something like a speed bridge where you're consistently shifting after every block. To be fair, however, a lot of players can get consistent at pretty much every bridging method they practice a lot, but for the average Minecraft player, fruitberries bridging is going to be something that makes them fall into the void a lot more than their regular speed bridging or other bridging methods. On top of this, one personal thing I don't like about the fruitberries bridge, especially when you're trying to apply it to something like bedwars, is that you can't really go up. The bridge is really just a flat line, and that makes it very easy for your opponents to target and hit you off in games like bedwars. But of course that really comes down to personal preference. Another very similar method I find a lot of flaws with is the breezely bridge. Breezely bridging is also slower than a decent speed bridge, and like the fruitberries bridge, you're not shifting at all, which makes it a lot more risky than the speed bridge itself. Because of this, you're a lot more likely to fall, obviously, and another issue with it on top of the fruitberries bridge is that for breezely bridging, you are going to need drag clicking in most cases, unless you've had a lot of experience, in which case you can normal or double click, but most people aren't able to drag click consistently or move their mouse too much, and that makes it a lot harder to pull off this bridge. And now let's talk about something that's going to be very controversial, the Andromeda Bridge. Of course, the Andromeda Bridge is nearly humanly impossible, but even if it was, there's still a lot of flaws that I want to point out. This bridging method is only really good if you're turning perfectly 180 degrees every single time to place your blocks and then turn around to do the head hitter jump. If your turns weren't perfect with an Andromeda Bridge, you're very likely to fall very quickly because you'll be slipping off the block very fast. On top of this, the Andromeda Bridge is another bridging method where you can't really go upwards at all, and even if you could pull this off in a game, there's a high chance that your opponent would just run up, hit you once, and you'd fall into the void. And let's be honest, nobody likes that. And despite all these other issues, a lot of people still like to justify that the Andromeda Bridge is really fast, and if someone could do it, it would be the fastest bridging method, but that's actually not true. Speed telly bridging, or more specifically tapped speed tellies, are faster than Andromeda bridging in most cases. Speed telly bridging also allows you to go up a lot quicker, which the Andromeda Bridge doesn't allow you to do at all. Obviously the Andromeda Bridge would still be very powerful if players could actually pull it off. I'm just here to explain the issues with it and why it's not as good as a lot of people portray it to be. Another very popular and fast bridging method that people actually can pull off is the telly bridge. Telly bridging is very good because it allows you to go from island to island really fast, and a lot of players do know how to pull it off, though this comes with extensive practice and very advanced drag clicking methods. The main flaw with telly bridging is really just the inconsistency of it. There's very few consistent telly bridgers in the Minecraft community itself, and commonly with fast bridging methods like these, players are often faced with challenges like lag back, which make it even harder to pull off. On top of this, the main issue I find with telly bridging personally is that it uses nearly double the amount of blocks to cover the same amount of distance as a regular bridge. The reason for this is because in most cases, your telly bridge is going to be about 2 blocks high at all times, which means you're placing about 2 blocks upwards for every 1 block you're going horizontally, which is just a big waste. In actual games, this means spending a lot more time in the forge waiting to get blocks, or even outside of bedwars in something like skywars, you're just going to be using up a lot more blocks, which is bad resource efficiency. Telly bridging speed-wise is obviously one of the best bridging methods out there, especially when you get more into speed tellies and stuff like that. I just feel the inefficiency of it makes it quite a bad bridging method to use in actual games, but obviously for bridging servers and stuff like that, it's totally good to use. And lastly, before I wrap things up, I want to talk about the most controversial one yet, the noob bridge. Also known as the slow bridge, this is one of the most prestigious bridging methods in Minecraft, and a lot of people really do hold it in high regard. The main issue I have with it overall is it's really just too hard to pull off in games. It's quite similar to the Andromeda Bridge in the fact that almost no players actually know how to do this bridging method, and it's just too difficult overall. And for that reason, I say it's probably the worst bridging method out there. But all jokes aside, that is going to pretty much wrap it up for today's video, so if you did end up enjoying, please do consider subscribing. It helps out so much. But with that being said, I really do hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys soon. Goodbye.